Hello, Brobs. We're back with Anyone's Son, a true story by Roberta Roche with Harry De La Roche Jr. Chapter 4, The Citadel. The Citadel is a liberal arts military college that's rich in American history. Established in 1842, it was housed in a sturdy old fortress called the Citadel, from which it gets its name. In the early days, it was garrisoned first by federal, then by state troops, until the latter were replaced in 1843 by 20 students who made up the first corps of cadets. These cadets served as a guard for the state's arms. At the same time, they pursued an education designed for both war and peace. During the Civil War, before the firing on Fort Sumter, cadets of the Corps manned the guns which drove back the Star of the West, a steamer sent by the federal government to relieve the fort. Later, from 1865, when a Union force marched into Charleston, until 1879, the buildings were occupied by federal troops, and the operation of the college was suspended until 1882. In 1922, it was moved to a new location between Hampton Park and the Ashley River. In outlining the requirements for admission, the college catalog says, in general, the Citadel seeks to determine acceptability through a thorough evaluation of each applicant's character, maturity, motivation, readiness for college, amenability, and obedience to authority, emotional stability, and potential as a contributor to cadet life. Where any of these factors are in question, the college will obtain additional information by means of any of the following: interviews with the applicant, interviews with parents and or members of his community, a special report written by the applicant on such subjects as his goal in life, his reason for his choice of the Citadel, and or reasons supporting his choice of major, field of study, or a special text to be taken by the applicant designed to examine in detail any aspect of the applicant's character or potential. Through the years, the school has prided itself on its students and graduates. 3 governors of South Carolina, an All-American football star, and leaders in civilian and military life. Such prestigious military men as Generals Charles P. Summerall, Mark Clark, and Hugh Pate Harris have all been heads of the Citadel, and the list of distinguished visitors is a who's who in American history. The whole idea of the college is to develop leaders. Harry was thinking of some of these things on August 17, 1976, when he and his family got into their car and headed towards South Carolina. He was the driver most of the way, and sometimes while he was driving, he'd have a few uneasy thoughts about what lay ahead. But he kept those feelings to himself, and as the 5 De La Roches drove down Interstate 95, they looked like any family taking a son to college. Here they are en route to the Citadel. Ron, Eric, Mary Jane, and Harry in the Holiday Inn Motel, Charleston, South Carolina, August 21st, 1976. The first step was Virginia Beach for a short family vacation, and when they registered for their motel rooms, none of them knew this vacation would be their last family trip. It was a pleasant enough few days, and the family took lots of pictures, but before they knew it, they were back in the car on their way to the Citadel for the due date, August 23rd. Once they arrived in Charleston, they looked for Moultrie Street. Then when they got to the foot of that street, they saw the imposing wrought iron gates that led to the 100-acre campus of the 2,000-man state-supported school. Since they'd never seen the campus before, they were duly impressed by the many Spanish-style buildings and row after row of palm trees that served as protection from the hot southern sun. Mark Clark Hall, the museum, and many light-colored buildings bordered the large square parade grounds on which there were cannons and flags. That's a rather short little segment. Number 11 is seemingly much longer. And yeah, it's a good 10 pages. So anyway, that's all for now. I will be back with that in probably a couple minutes, since I'm just going to upload this one and go right to that one. Until then, goodbye, bruv. Goodbye. Bye-bye, bruv.